the offsites are something that you feel like has worked really well for your department, of just like the idea of bringing people together, like humanizing their roles and their job, right?
Yeah, and I mean, offsite meetups has always been part of the ChiliPiper like culture and
Yeah.
company. They've had them since like the first year. And those trips have always included some kind of adventure. So yeah, that I think is always
Some kind of adventure. Y'all go big on adventures. You really do. You get to do some really cool
I would agree.
stuff.
I've
It's
like it's
awesome.
definitely
Yeah.
yeah, it's been like one of the really like unexpectedly like cool parts of
Yeah.
working at ChiliPiper.
ChiliPiper is yeah, they're just, I mean, obviously I think anybody watching knows ChiliPiper is the ones to follow. Y'all are doing it right and having fun while you do it. And I think
Yeah.
it's a really incredible thing that we are lucky enough to get to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, we're so happy to work
Um
with you guys.
yeah.
Again, like one of the reasons we love working with you is because we feel like you guys really like meet us where we're at in terms of like culture and vibes. And that, yeah, that's something like I really appreciate. And I think potentially could be like not considered by people, right? When they're like
Yeah.
making some of these choices is like, okay, like who really understands like the experience we're trying to build and the vibe we're bringing, right? So yeah, that's something I really appreciate.
Well, and it's an intimate thing. Like when we have when we're getting, we're getting into all the ins and outs of your company, and it really is like, I think it takes all that trust. It takes all of that believing in us to allow us to see behind the curtain a little bit. And I think
Mhm.
that it definitely, like, that's not like, we have to align on culture. It can't work any other way,
Yeah,
because you're inviting us in to be a part of like the inner workings of your company. And
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that
And if you guys didn't
it makes
understand
all the difference.
too, I don't think that we would get the value that we get. Like when I think about like Emma when she's on site, like
Yeah.
last year obviously was like the first year, so I still was getting some questions from people. And then this year was I didn't get any questions from
Yeah.
people. People went right to Emma. They were like, "Oh, like she knows what's going on," and like
Yeah.
so it was great. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't have asked for a
And
better experience.
when we talk about trust, what was there a moment or like something that we did that gave you that confidence of like feeling like we were aligned on culture, feeling like, okay, you could trust us to handle this important piece, that especially knowing that you had done it yourself the year before we started working together, which I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, was there a switch moment, or was it just a gradual build that made it feel
Well,
like comfortable?
so it's interesting because I didn't look at many other options. I went to the your website and I was just sort of like, okay, like these examples of trips look good. They look cool. They look like
Yeah.
something that we would do. So I think there was that. I think at that point I didn't know if you guys had done anything international or like what capabilities were there. But it's interesting when I got on the call with Matt. So he responded like right away when I reached out, which is obviously always appreciated, right? I feel like there was like this, like very much like this care about like, and also just like this feeling of like, we're so excited to work with you guys. And I am
Yeah.
guessing that like he probably does that for other people he's like talking with too. Like it very much felt like, oh, I'm aware of your brand and your company. I think you guys are so cool. We really want to work with you. So I think like when somebody has a desire like that to like work with you, like you know they want to do a good job or they're going to make sure that they do a good
Yeah.
job. So I think that that was kind of it influenced me in some way.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah,
think that
definitely.
things like held up through the process too, right? So, and I also really appreciated too like cuz last year there was a moment where I was like, oh, I feel like oh things might be like off or I'm like feeling off about it. And I reached out to you
Hmm.
and you were like, absolutely, like let's get on a call. We don't want you to feel this way. Like let's get on a call and get this all fixed up. And we had a call and I felt like totally good and everything was fine afterwards. I think
Yeah.
like it was probably one of those moments where it's like I had done this before and I'm feeling like for whatever reason in this moment like just nervous about handing it off to somebody, right? And so like it's
Pre-party panic, we
yeah,
call
like
it. Pre-party panic. It happens.
I
But
feel
yeah,
like
it's
I have
also,
many of those calls.
yeah. But it's natural too. And it's like, this is a big, like, in the sense of planning this, you have all eyes in your company on you for this experience that, like you said, they look forward to all year long. Like, it's a lot of pressure, and I take a lot, like, I always think I'm going to do something better than somebody else, especially when, like, I have a hard time trusting someone to, like, hand something off. I'm like, unless they see the work or whatever, like, I just have a hard time trusting that kind of thing. And so I get it. And that's where, but also with events, it's like, there's so many moving pieces that there's also no guarantee that, like, everything is going to go smoothly.
Right.
Like, that is the only guarantee, is that there's something that's
Well,
going to
yes,
not go well.
exactly. So, like, that's the other thing too, is like it felt like there was a plan for stuff like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm like, this is a story that I've told like many people about working with you guys. So when we went to Croatia, there were many, like, there's always going to be flight issues, right, with people. There's nothing we can do about that. That happens. We had people that lost luggage. Shane and Emma were out there buying underwear for people. And I was like, I've always like saying to people, like, that could have been me. I could have been, I was like, except for I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have had that level of service probably. But like, that was like next level to me, like willing to like go out there and help people. And I don't know what it is, but like in Dubrovnik, underwear was hard to find. So Shane had to go to like
That's so interesting.
so many stores before he could find
man
it.
for the job. Yeah.
I was like, that is dedication, right? Like being willing to like go out and do that. I feel like I think he gave his like one of his shirts that he had like just packed to somebody because they didn't have, like, so just like it's just like was that level of care really sort of like
just like giving a shit about what people's. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. They're special humans. Well, Holly, I think you're doing amazing work. I think you and your team are just the absolute best, and really appreciate you spending this time with me. Thank you so much.
Of course.